INCRadio. Sa mapanig ng mundo, palaging konektado sa lahat ng mga tao. This is INCRadio. Anywhere in the world, oh, we are always together, connected to everyone. Life will be better. Tayo na, sama-sama halina sa INCRadio International na. Ito, palaging konektado ka sa INCRadio na.
You are listening to Iglesia ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
Onward to further victory, that's the plan. There's no stopping us now. There's no stopping us now. No one can.
Welcome to INCRadio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. Good morning, good afternoon, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Happy 55th anniversary to Subsea and INCRadio. I'm Sister Darlene Dean Gizan. I am your host for today, and my co-host is Sister Eliza Moika. Good morning, Sister Eliza.
Good morning, Sister Darlene, and good morning to those tuning in.
Okay, so today is February 10th, right? It is, what time is it? It's 8:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think it's 9:04 p.m. Philippine time. And today we're talking about what is INCRadio. We really want to hear from our audience today and tell us like what is INCRadio to you as a viewer, as a listener, and if you are an INCRadio crew member, tell us what it's like for you to be part of the INCRadio family. So, to start off our discussion, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Sister Eliza.
Yes, so today for this discussion, we will be highlighting the team. So I want to ask Sister Darlene and also our audience. Before I call out our audience, I want to call out Sister Darlene. What's your favorite part about working with the INCRadio team?
I think my favorite part of being part of INCRadio is the people that I'm surrounded with. Um, when it comes to the crew, whether it's here in our INCRadio Washington, D.C. family, or it's when we're involved in big projects and we're working with brethren all over the world, I really love how we really can come together and, you know, take a task together and just work through everything like a family.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's my favorite part.
Yes, I think when someone mentions INCRadio family, I just think of teamwork. I learned a lot. Being in a team,
Mhm.
we have ideas together, but there are times, we're like, oh, how do I say this idea? But
Mhm.
it's at the same time you have like different brains like work together and create what you want to create for your
Right. So
ideas.
basically, when we have more minds and then we mesh it together, we end up working with a really great product. Very- Yeah, and I think the other things I really like about it is the stuff that we are able to put out for our viewers and listeners to enjoy. I mean, including ourselves, of course. It's
Yes.
as if we don't enjoy it, but then our audience does. That sounds odd, but for like the content that we do, the kind of discussions that we have, sometimes they're more heart to heart. Sometimes it's about cooking, right? And then others, it's more of like, FYI, this is how you can take care of yourself, health wise, mental health wise. So yeah, there's a lot, and we're looking forward to more content that we can share here on INCRadio Washington D.C. in 2024. It's only February.
I know, right? And I'm like, I can't wait for topics. Like, I actually like putting different topics together. For
Mm.
me personally, I realized that I like talking, even though sometimes I just like talk like whatever comes out my mouth. But with this, you actually have a topic to talk about, and you just want to go on and on sometimes.
Yeah, because then I think it's because, like, that comes to say that, we're a lot more comfortable with each other, and then when we do have guests on the show, which, by the way, we're encouraging everyone to be a part of our show live on air, it becomes like our family is growing. Doesn't it
Mhm.
feel that way? Like, the more people that we can get on the show, it just seems like, oh, we can end up, showing their talents and, sharing their stories, and I think that's awesome.
Yes, I love that feeling when you have a guest like for the very first time and they say they like the show. And then the next time you ask them if they want to join again, they end up saying yes. So they end up like joining our discussions often. So I feel like that's a good experience for all of us. So
Mhm.
for those tuning in, just let us know if you want to join our show. If you want to
Yes.
see yourself on screen.
Yeah, definitely comment in our YouTube chat and let us know, or you can you reach out to us at INCRadio@gmail.com, and then give us your contact information and we'll be in touch with you. But we do have a couple of comments so far. The first comment that we have right now is Sister Nidal. She says, "I love the unstoppable energy from INC Radio. INC Radio crew are always brainstorming for awesome content." That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sister Nidal. We definitely miss you here on air with us. But I think we also have a few people who are saying good morning. So we have again Sister Nidal who joined us. We have Brother Lendigala from Baltimore, Brother Audrey Dulai, who is in Anne Arundel. Almost forgot for a moment. Brother Glenn Kabatpat from Waldorf, Sister Grace Galarpe from hashtag Anne Arundel, Victoria Munoz, who is tuning in. And I don't know how to pronounce this viewer's name. It's AE. Is it A? Is it A? I'm so sorry. She's from the Local Saipan district of Micronesia, Crispina Panopio. She is saying good evening to us. And Amelia Salazar, Keith Otero, Nick Abagon, and Brother Sidney Santos is tuning in. There's a lot of us who's tuning in, and I think we have definitely a lot more comments. Oh,
Mhm.
and Sister Preston, all the way from Latin America. She's greeting us from Chile. So I wonder, what's the temperature like in Chile? Is it chilly or
Oh, I was about to say that.
warm? Let us know, Sister Crestad. I'm curious.
Okay, wow. I love those comments. Keep those comments going. And, before we move on, when we return, we'll discuss more about INC Radio. So don't go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
You are listening to Iglesia Ni Cristo Radio, the voice of truth.
Positive thinking is an emotional and mental attitude that focuses on the good and expects results that will benefit us. Find out how positive thinking improves outcomes and life satisfaction across a spectrum of conditions. What are the simple steps to stay positive? Join us here on INC Radio New Zealand Satellite Studio this Sunday, February 11, 2024, 7 o'clock p.m. New Zealand Daylight Time, 2 o'clock p.m. Philippine Time. Kakitiano.
Okay, welcome back. So we have Sister Chris Ann responding to Sister Darlene. She said, no, it's not chilly anymore. It's hot. We're in the middle of summer.
Okay. I forget because of the location. Things are kind of flipped for us. So what's winter here is not winter there.
Oh, yeah. Wow. This world is crazy. We have different weathers and different time zones. Wow.
All at the same time. What?
And shout out to those that's, tuning in. We have Sister Lou Apagon, Sister Rhoda, Sister Lucy. And now I'll pass it on to Sister Darlene to continue our discussion.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sister Eliza. Okay, so for everyone, we definitely really want to hear from you. Even if you aren't an INC Radio crew member, we want to hear from our INC Radio family, those who tune in on a regular basis, our avid fans and viewers and listeners, all of that. And we want to hear from you, especially if you have topics that you would like for us to cover throughout 2024. So the first thing is lessons learned. What are some things you've learned since being a part of INC Radio? So, Sister Eliza, I'll go ahead and pass the floor to you here.
Ooh, some things I've learned. I've learned a lot, which I very much love and appreciate. But I learned that we should be patient with ourselves because when I started INC Radio, I was like, I was doubting myself. I was doubting my
Mhm.
skills. I was like, am I really like for radio? I don't have the right I was like, do I have the talents for it? Like, I don't know how to talk in front of people. I don't know how to banter. So it's like you have to be patient with yourself. And of course,
Mhm.
prayer is important because it's our duty. And, our Almighty God is the one helping us in everything we do. And
Mhm.
yes, also bantering, I think that was the hard part of INC Radio, of learning how to do it. But you know as you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not laughing at you. It's just more of like because I definitely relate. Because when I first started INC Radio back in 2018, we were INC Radio Mid Atlantic at the time, and we were sharing the program with Virginia as well as District of New Jersey. So I was very very nervous,
Mhm.
very nervous for my first time appearance, and I can't even remember what we were talking about. I think it was something to do with cleaning. I don't know. It was something to do with it. Like, I feel like I really related to the topic, but at the same time, I was so stiff. I was unable to really fluidly move from conversation to the transitions between conversation. And at the time, I was super, super shy as well. Like, you had to take a chisel to like figure out like how I'm gonna be able to get to the main point. But yeah, I think for me, I really relate to that because I was like super shy. I didn't really know how to converse well. And it's ironic because when you're on radio, that is your main means of communication. Like you have to talk. If you don't talk, then there's nothing to listen to, right? Um, but yeah, so I think flexibility is another aspect that I had to learn through INC Radio. I mean, separate from the technical aspects, kudos to Brother Marlon, considering that he is very particular the kind of tech I use for my productions or my part in radio. But there's also like the production side, like how we help create the rundowns, the materials we gather, the brethren we coordinate with to appear on air with us. And then especially when we're doing live broadcasts,
Mhm.
those are even more. And so I think the more challenging it is, the more fun it ends up becoming because you realize your capabilities as well as those that you've coordinated with. Like some people surprise you.
Yes, I remember one time I was like a few months into radio, and during our
Mhm.
rehearsals, Sister Darlene was like, "You should banter more." I was like, "How am I gonna banter
How do I do
before?"
that? What do you mean?
But yes, INC Radio helps you a lot, especially if you're shy. I can say I'm so shy when I'm off screen,
Mhm.
but
Same.
yeah, I'm less shy. Like if you approach me and talk to me, I feel like I'll know how to conversate more. And that's
Mhm.
like one of my main struggles back then. It was hard for me. Like I would want to meet people, but I wouldn't know how to start conversations.
Yeah, that's true. I really struggled with that and be like, okay, I need to have a topic. What topic are we going to end up sharing with this stranger that's sitting beside me? I don't know. Like, how do you break the ice? And I think with radio, because we've done a few icebreakers, it kind of helps
Mhm.
uh, become more creative and be like, okay, um, where are you from?
I think those icebreakers that we had played a big role because I would lead some of them and I was like, yeah, I have to really try my best to wake our audience up.
Right, and
And, like,
push your energy
yeah.
outside of your comfort zone.
So, every icebreaker I made sure to maybe it every show helps you look back at it and you just
Mhm,
want to keep to improving.
mhm,
So,
exactly. We have some comments from our viewers right now. Brother Stan Mandy, he said, "I have learned on public speaking,
mhm.
as well as how to produce and write." That's awesome. To be able to coordinate in that way. And we also have a special greeting from Sister Lucy Ancheta from Charlotte, North Carolina. She says, "Happy 55th anniversary. Good morning, Paul from Charlotte, North Carolina. Happy 55th anniversary, Subsea." Sister Kathleen from New Jersey, she said, "I've learned a lot of geography and more
Yeah.
Tagalog." That's so true, Sister Kathleen. I feel like, okay, to be fair, I feel like I've learned more places, but I still can't tell you like where exactly it
Yes.
is on the map. I'll tell you what continent, maybe, but then don't ask me to say if it's like north, east, west, or south, because I won't be able to know.
Yeah, I can tell you about it, like everything about it, but if you ask me where it is, I'm like, you can search it up.
I'm the kind of person that I still okay. I might get a lot of hate for this, but I'm still the kind of person that I will still use my navigator even though I know my way towards a grocery store.
Oh wow.
Just because I kind of like to see the path that I'm working on. It's like as if like you're on a path and you're reaching certain levels. And at the same time, I'm not trying to beat my ETA or my estimated time of arrival, but it is nice to know when it changes to a lot less than it was originally when I when I first started it. But Sister Kathleen, she also said, I've also learned how to push myself to be out of my comfort zone. Same. I think that's for all of us as well. So for everyone, please continue to share your thoughts. Really quick. So for success stories, what are your favorite topics or episodes that we've had on INCRadio, Sister Eliza?
My favorite top or like shows,
Hmm.
probably those inspirational ones.
Mm,
Audience. I like hearing what someone has to say about those tips or like advice and also
right.
the experience. I think that's one of my favorite parts of radio too. I get to hear people's experiences in life.
Hmm. Yeah, that's such a true point. When it allows us to be more vulnerable
Mhm.
and gives us that comfortable space, safe space to share something personal about ourselves and for others to be able to relate to and even sometimes find inspiration or relation to.
Mhm.
Um, I think for me, one of my absolute favorites would be the ones that require all of us to be together. The big
Yes.
productions, the anniversaries, and I think even more so for like the INCRadio WDC tours that we've conducted. Like we've visited all the big local congregations or the ones that have chapels, right? And
Mhm.
we were able to feature the places of worship. Think that was like back in 2022, and in 2023 we did more of like National Harbor. We did the aquarium. We did the
Mhm.
tidal basin, and to be able to see the brethren in those respective areas, surrounding areas, to come join us, just to also have their own tour and a day of fun. It's awesome. It makes the program even more fun, even though we're like only an hour, or at the time an hour on the show. But to live, it's like vlogging
Yeah.
live
And
and radio at the same time.
the thing I like about that radio, the WDC tour, when we would go to different local congregations, I would see faces that I've never seen before. And I'm like,
Right.
wow, we have those tuning in that I haven't really like seen, especially those further locales. So I'm like, wow. It's like it means a lot to all of us
Mhm.
when we see that kind of like, support.
The support, yeah. And I think it's also kind of nice for us to take everyone's screen name and match it to a face when you
Yeah.
finally meet them in
Oh yeah,
person.
that's another cool part of it too.
Be like, okay, so this is who you are. It's so nice to meet you. I think we also ended up having that kind of similar feeling when I went to San Diego for our regional awards. So to be able to meet the crew members from various satellites over the US and Canada region, that was an experience because then at the same time you get to measure each other. Like literally, they're like, oh, you're actually a lot taller than me.
Oh wow, I hope to experience that because I was actually a guest in one of the satellites, which is San
Mhm.
Diego. Shout out to them
Mhm.
because they really made me feel like oh, I want to join them more, and they were very welcoming. And when we talked behind the scenes as well, I was like,
Mhm.
I want to visit San Diego one day.
Yeah, it's a recommend. We were really busy when we went to San Diego, but I think being around the people and making it feel like family, it was definitely worth the flight. Um, but yeah, so there are a whole bunch of other satellites and programs. If you're not yet aware, for those tuning into INC Radio for the first time, we have satellites from all over the U.S. Canada region. There's a lot of satellites all around the world, and then we also have weekend programs. So, for example, I think Sister Eliza, you joined one a few months ago. It was a chat line.
Yes.
Right? How was that for you?
So that I met three sisters, and that's
Mhm.
including the host. And I was like, wow, does it have to end? Because I want to keep talking. Because those conversations were really, it relates to me, especially those my age. It was about
Mhm.
friendship, and I was like, oh, I want to keep talking about my friends and those people that mean a lot to me. But, it had to end.
Yeah. There was another program that was following after. But yeah, I think for those who are not aware, chat line is where conversation matter. They may gear usually towards like the youth and the young adults, but it doesn't mean that the conversation is always applicable to them alone. It applies to pretty much all generations. And then there's Faith and Melody, and then one of my favorites to promote is Health Matters because they cover all things about health because health matters, right? Because health matters because health matters. And then there's another one. It's called Isang Tinig, Isang Himig. Wow, with Bob, there's so much that is available for you because INC Radio is a 24/7 platform for you to tune in. You can learn about our faith if you are not a member of the Church of Christ. You can learn a little bit more about us in that regard, and then you can also learn about what students do through student radio. There's so much content available there on incradio.org. So make sure you subscribe if you have not yet done so. Um, so we have a couple of upcoming things happening. So Sister Eliza, I'm going to pass the floor on to you.
Yes, so for our upcoming events in our district, we have Footwear Expo, and that is this Saturday, February 10th, 2024 at
Mm.
10 a.m. And that's until 1 p.m. at WDC Chapel Function Hall. We have district officers general meeting today at 1 p.m. at 1 p.m. And we have music team auditions that is also today at 3 p.m. at the WDC Chapel Function Hall. And on Sunday, tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Temple Hills Society of Communications and Networkers, which is SCAN, and Christian Medical Dental Paramedical Society, which is CMDPS, special gathering at 6 p.m. Grand Eyeball.
All right. So what is it that we're going to cover here on INC Radio WDC next week? Let's go ahead and watch this promo real quick.
We know about love thy neighbor and love of the brotherhood. What happens when you break up? From friendships to romantic partners, it's important to make up after the breakup and change the nature of the relationship to be civil and healthy. Let's learn how we can maneuver this phase of a relationship this Saturday, February 17th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on INC Radio, Washington, D.C.
All right. So just a few comments and greetings that we haven't been able to do yet. Sister Kathleen says that I've also learned how to how late I can stay up. Especially with our big projects, yes, it surprises you that you can pretty much stay awake up until the wee hours in the morning. Sir Chris Ann says, another skill I've learned is leadership and language skills. INCRadio
Ooh.
helped me not lose my English and Filipino skills. That's amazing because
Mhm.
Sister Chris Ann is a very fast speaker. I think that's a Chilean thing. So for her to speak Spanish and English and Tagalog, that's talent. That's definitely talent. And for the topics on INC Radio, Sister Kristen says, oh, I love food and travel topics. I love learning and knowing different cultures all over the world. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Sister Kristen. And yeah, I think that's like the same feeling that we can get, or at least close to it when you actually travel. Sister Kat said, I do love the food or cooking segments, especially the cooking shows in Washington, D.C. Thanks, Sister Kathleen. And kudos to our guest chefs who join us on the show from all over the world. And then Sister Nidel was agreeing that I definitely love it when the chefs join in the discussion. Sister Grace Galarva says tour to other countries, their culture and food. She really likes that. And I think we did that one too. What was the most recent one? I can't remember, but we've done the Mediterranean. We went to Africa. We went to the UK. So we have showcased a couple. Oh, in Korea. I think we did South Korea at
Mhm.
one point as well. So we're looking forward to more ideas from all of our viewers and listeners. If there are other places that you'd like us to go ahead and visit virtually, of course, because then, we can't afford to everyone. Go book a plane ticket and go all together. And then special greetings, Sister Mirna says, advance happy birthday to Sister Eliza Yumo. Hashtag buoy. Advance happy birthday, Sister Eliza. Sister Lizelle Soriana also greets you in advance happy birthday. And good morning, INC Radio, Washington, DC. Okay, so for their unstoppable support, we'd like to thank our INC Radio WDC family for supporting our broadcast today, especially to our district minister, Brother Sidney Santos, our station manager, Brother Arnel Solano, our subsidy president, Brother Angelo Manalo, and of course, a very special greeting to our executive minister of the Iglesianicristo Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. And we thank you for tuning in here onto INC Radio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. Stay unstoppable. And again, happy 55th anniversary to Subsea and INC Radio. Bye, everyone.
Woo!
Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Do you want some tips on how to impress during a job interview? Join our discussion this Sunday, February 11, as our special guest, Brother Marlon Arenas gives us some insights on how to ace job interviews. Only at INC Radio Hong Kong Satellite